you should open your eyes and to understand that everything that you're going to read or to see in the news, this is opinion of someone. You need to think by yourself. You need to ask the question by yourself. Remember, nobody knows better than you.
CFDs are complex instruments and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage. This podcast is a marketing communication, and nothing in it constitutes investment advice or an investment recommendation. The information is provided for informational purposes only and does not take into account your investment objectives, financial situation, or specific needs. Examples of trades, strategies, or market behavior are provided for illustrative purposes only and do not guarantee any specific outcome.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Trading Unfiltered podcast.
My name is Yaroslav, and I've spent more than a decade in trading and financial markets. In this show, we focus on one thing: clarity. We break down what's actually moving the markets and how professional thinks about risks, timing, and opportunity when real money is on the line. The goal of this podcast is simple: to give you market insights you can actually use, not hype, not shortcuts, and not recycled commentary. We focus on context, incentives, and structure, the kind of thinking that helps you understand price action instead of reacting to it. Each episode brings a different angle. Analysts, market insiders, and traders that look at the same data as you do, but frame it differently. We'll explore how the scenarios are built, how probabilities are weighted, and how macro, geopolitics, and fundamentals translate into actual market behavior. For our first episode, we're joined by Udi. Together, we're building a short series of episodes that explains how we got from the 2008 crisis to today's global setup, and when Taiwan has become a major flashpoint. Udi, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Before we get into the timeline, can you give our listeners one sentence promise, what they can expect that they probably don't understand right now?
Yes, I believe that the majority of the audience is going to understand how to connect the dots and how to see the bigger picture. Because today, think of this is like a jigsaw puzzle. It means that you're going to see a lot of small pieces, but you don't understand in the beginning what is the relationship between each piece. Once you're going to understand the big picture, you're going to understand, okay, there is a relationship between Taiwan to China, to Russia, Ukraine, Israel, United States, Bitcoin, Intel, weapon industry, cryptocurrencies, and on. You have connection between all of them, and today we are going to understand how to connect the dots.
Perfect. Let's start at the pivot point.
Okay, so let's dive in to understand what is happening right now. But before we're going to understand what is happening right now, we need to remember each analyst around the world or each trader that is respect his capital or himself, he need to understand that if he will not remember and understand what happened in the past, he cannot understand what is happening right now in the present and what's going to happen in the future. So let's start with the present. Okay, today, let's say that the biggest event that is going to change or have the biggest ripple effect on the financial markets is going to be the invasion of China into Taiwan. Let's open this issue because I want people to understand what is happening right now. Okay, China wants to take over Taiwan. Why? What is the reason? Because in Taiwan they have TSMC factories. Okay, TSMC factories. This is the biggest factory around the world that today manufacturing all the chips for, let's say, around 92% of all the companies around the world. Among their clients, okay, I just want you to understand, among the clients, you're going to find Apple, you're going to find NVIDIA, Qualcomm, you're going to find Toshiba, Sony, and on and on. And I believe that the majority of the audience is going, maybe they heard about these companies. This is what I believe. And if not, I think that they need to do their homework. Now, when you go to the biggest manufacturer of all the chips around the world, it means that the Chinese, they want to take over. Okay, because once they're going to take over TSMC factories, it means that they will have access to the blueprints of the Western technology. The problem with the Chinese people that they don't know how to innovate. The only thing that they know how to do is just to copy. Everything that you can see that Chinese is exporting, it's a copycat of Western technology. They didn't innovate it. Now, if you're going to check in history from today, let's go back 150 years, and if you have the ability, or if someone else has the ability to prove me that the Chinese brought to the world just one technology that all the Western civilization is going to say, wow, I want this technology and I'm going to do everything, even to copycat it. There is nothing like this. Because they don't know how to innovate. Nothing, unfortunately. They know how to work. They know how to build everything, but not to innovate. So this is why they want to take over on TSMC. Now, the reason why they want to take over TSMC, okay, so we understand they want to take over the chip industry, but why? There is a deeper goal over there. Because they understood that if they want to replace United States as the leader of the world, they need to control the chip industry. Because today, if you're going to take everything that we have, there is a chip inside. If it's your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet, your car, your dish machine, your air conditioner, you name it. On everything, you have a chip inside. It means that you're going to be rely on China once they're going to take it. Now, we need to understand why the Chinese want to take over the world. So we need to jump back, okay, to the past to understand. So let's start on the year 2008. At the year 2008, we had back then the subprime crash. I believe that the majority of the people understand what it means, and if not, I will explain it very shortly and quickly, okay? Think of this, that you have bonds, okay? Bonds, it's a loan. It means if a company or a country is selling you a bond, it means that you are giving a loan to the company or to the country. In the end of the duration, it's going to be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, okay? It depends on the contract. It means they're going to give you back the loan plus interest. And this is some, let's say, this is some kind of a structure that the majority of the people and the financial banks and investors look on the bonds. It's something that, let's say, less risky, less volatility, more safe, okay?
Yeah, risk-free.
So the problem was that, think of this, that back then, in 2008, you have someone that his job is to pick up coconuts from the tree, okay? And the yearly salary is going to be, let's say, $20,000 a year. So the banks, okay, what they did, they gave him a loan, a mortgage of $5 million. Why? Because they thought everything is fine. So the majority of the banks, what they did, they took the mortgage, they started to build on it structures with options, with futures, and wrapped it very nicely and made from this another bond and sold everything to another bank. The other bank understood what the first bank did and they did the same and sold it to the next one and to the next one. So in the end of the day, once the guy this is what he know to do. He know how to pick up coconuts. Once he had a small problem that he could not have paid back the mortgage, everything collapsed immediately.
The pyramid collapses.
Exactly. And then we had a rescue, right, that the government spent a lot of money to assist all the banks over there. And then we had new elections, and then Barack Obama entered. He was the president. And when he was the president of the United States, he saw the problem that they have. He understood that the majority of the people don't have enough money to spend. And the economy is starting to collapse. So he sat with his people and they found China. And they understood that on China, everything is very cheap because they don't know what to do and how to do. Okay? So they said, okay, we're going to transfer all the facilities and all the factories to China. We're going to teach them everything, and they're going to start to manufacture everything for us. Why? Was the reason? Because in the United States, each worker demand, let's say, $2,000 per month as a salary. But in China, he understood that for $2,000 per month, he's going to receive 100 workers on the same money, but more workers. So they started to shift everything into China. The rest of the world saw it and they said, okay, if the United States is doing it, we can do the same. Now, United States, when Barack Obama decided to do it, he understood that even if the Chinese will build a markup, okay, on the revenue, still the revenue margin that they will have is going to be huge for them. And the prices is going to be very, very low. So we can see that since 2008 till today, the Chinese, this is the biggest country, this is the factory, this is the manufacturer of the world. Okay? They are, you know what? All the audience that is going to listen to this, you can do something right now. Okay? You don't need to believe a word that I'm saying. Just pick whatever you want and check the label. Made in, that's it. Fill the gap. And you will understand from where everything is coming. So let's go back for today. So China understood, okay, if we are the biggest factory of the world, we are doing everything for the rest of the world, so let's replace the United States. And they understood that if they want to replace it, they need to control the chip industry. Chip industry, it's in Taiwan, on TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor. But they started to understand there is a huge problem. If they will invade Taiwan right now, the risk of this move is going to be a direct conflict with the United States. The United States have the biggest army in the world, the most advanced army in the world, with the most technology and weapons. So they thought to themselves, okay, what we can do? And they decided to build a coalition with other countries that is sharing with them the same idea. Among these countries, you're going to find North Korea, you're going to find Russia, you're going to find Iran, okay? Among these countries.
The BRICS,
Yes.
right? Brazil, Sudan.
Yes, all the BRICS countries, because they don't want to be reliant on the dollar. Now,
Exactly.
the dollar, the defender of the dollar is the American army. So they started to, back then, since 2008, okay, this is what they started to do. And 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, Russia received the green light. You can start to invade to Ukraine. Almost 3 years ago, Iran received the green light. You can start the invasion with Hamas, what they did to the Israelis on the 7th of October 2023. The goal is to divide the American army into several different war zones. Because if the American is going to be divided, they cannot come with all the force to China, Taiwan. So this is the main goal that we see right now.
Yeah, so if you had to sum it up for traders, so basically you're saying that policy can seeds in the markets for a decade later of consequences.
Yes. I believe that until today, the majority of the traders, the private traders, not the institutional traders, they thought that we can see it only to look on the chart and according to the pattern that somebody taught me, or according to the indicators or the news, I will understand what is going to be the next move. But to understand the big picture, okay, the bigger picture, all you need is to understand the geopolitical events, the geostrategy.
Exactly. Yeah, as I'm always saying, technical analysis is just one piece of the puzzle, and don't miss out on any fundamentals and macro events. That's also part of the bigger picture. To fully understand the markets, you need to take into account all of that.
Exactly. Because as we said in the beginning, there is a relationship between everything. Now, once you're going to understand what is the goal of each one of the participants in the financial markets, what they are aiming for, what is their desire, their interest, what they're going to gain from everything, it's going to be much more simpler for you as a trader to understand, okay, this is going to be the next move. So this is what I need to be ready that is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, months, years.
Yeah. But even today, without TSMC, China still has this huge monopoly, which makes the whole world, or majority of it, very dependent on their manufacturing.
Exactly. And because of this, I don't know if you heard about this, but Donald Trump is not the first one. Already Joe Biden, 2023, he signed on the deal of the IMEC. IMEC, it's mean India, Middle East, Europe corridor, because they understood that China want to invade Taiwan, and they starting to build with Russia and with Iran the road and the belt. This is another route to move all the commodities, goods, and all the products that they are manufacturing in China through the Asia to Russia, and from Russia directly to the Europe. So the Americans starting to understand, okay, this is what they are doing. We're going to do the same. What it means? Once China is going to invade Taiwan, we're going to see a huge embargo on China. It means nobody can trade with China anymore. You cannot buy nothing, you can sell nothing to China or from China. Why? Because the Americans, they are the owner of the system that we call SWIFT, that you're going to send money from all the world, and they're going to cut off China. Exactly, this is what they did to Russia. And then India is going to replace China. And all the factories is going to transfer from China into India. And from India, it means from Mumbai and another port. Sorry, I don't remember the name of the port. They're going to send wood chips, all the goods, all the production to United Arab Emirates. From United Arab Emirates with planes to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, to Israel, port of Haifa in Israel. They're going to send everything, and from the port of Haifa in Israel, this is going to be the only place in the world that is going to send all the commodities, all the products, all the goods from the east to the west, and from the west to the east. This is why Trump is sitting right now and starting to sign up all the deal agreement between Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, what we have, United Arab Emirates, all of this, and the Abraham agreement. Yeah. Because he knows this is what is going to happen. By the way, the Adani group, this is one of the biggest groups in India, already bought 70% of the port of Haifa. They are the owner. And this is, right now, they're starting to build all the routes with the rails, okay, of the train that is going to move up to Haifa ports. So, right now, they are starting to build the IMEC. The IMEC is going to replace it's going to be in the competition with the road in the belt of China, Russia, and Iran, and India is going to replace China as the biggest factor in the world.
So, what do you think will be the first indicator to react for conflict escalation? It's going to be energy spreads, forex.
Look, once we're going to hit the invasion, everything is going to be affected. It's going to be I believe that the oil, we're going to see the oil at around $150 per barrel. The gold is going to skyrocket $6,000, $7,500 per ounce. The silver also is going to rise. I believe that dollar is going to be one of the strongest currencies in the world. The weapon industry is just going to a bull run. I don't think that it's going to stop, because immediately we're going to see everything that is happening. All the Chinese stocks is going to collapse because they're going to stop to trade with them, because they're going to freeze everything, all the assets the Chinese have. So this is what some of the things that you're going to see, and I believe that, and of course, the majority of the financial markets is going to start to collapse.
Yeah, but I mean, any pre-invasion signs that you can monitor? I mean, for me personally, I like to take a look from time to time at poly market HUDs. Do you have some indicators do you use to be prepared as the escalation happens?
Usually, look, I'm using an OSINT tools. OSINT, it's an open source intelligence. So, for example, there is a nice website that you can enter and see from there all the cameras that you have in Taiwan, for example. So this is one tool. We're going to see the same in China. You can take to open a VPN, okay? Choose China, or for example, choose a TSMC, and sorry, not TSMC, Taiwan. And from there, you can enter to the social media for each one of them, because once something like this will happen, the first news will not come to the official channels around the world.
Exactly.
It will go directly in the beginning. When I say in the beginning, I mean in the, let's say, the first couple of hours, first couple of minutes, it's going to be on the social media. But if you want to receive all the information, you need to log in with a VPN from China or from Taiwan to log in inside to them, because if you're going to do it without a VPN, so you are not going to receive the same information.
Yep.
So this is one of the tools that I'm going to use to understand.
This is a very interesting one, and I'm going to check this one myself as well. And just for the listeners who wish to check that out as well, we're gonna put all those links in the description below, so you can check yourself too. So, considering everything you just told us, do you have a prediction, an expectation when this might happen? And as a cautious trader, what would your strategy be? How could you protect your funds, your portfolio, but still keep some of the exposure to the markets?
Okay, this is two great questions. Let's split. The question, let's break it for topic A and topic B. Topic A, when the invasion will occur, nobody knows. The only one that knows when it's going to be is the president of China. He's the only one. And he will decide where he wants to invade, so then we will know it. No one can predict in the future. Yet, still, and this is regarding to your second question, as traders, as investors, we need to be ready, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We need to protect ourselves right now. The only tool that I know that can protect the portfolio, and this is what I'm using in my own portfolio, is the gold. Because the difference between the gold and the rest of the commodities assets is that on the gold we have a fixed amount of gold on earth, and unfortunately we cannot produce more. Even in the history, when the alchemists tried to convert several things into gold, nobody succeeded. So right now you know that this is the rule of in economy, supply and demand. Okay, you have a fixed supply, but the demand is going to rise up. So it's in the price will rise up, because today, when something happening in the financial markets, the majority of the banks, investing house, professional investors and traders, they're running to the gold to protect themselves, because they understand that the gold is going to have the value. And with this value, if you need something, you can exchange, to do some exchanges between other rich people. Now, right now as we speak, the gold is above $4,500. It means that once the gold entered to the territory of $4,000 per ounce, the world understood that we are in a war. I believe that in the next couple of months, the gold will rise up above 5,000. My prediction, again, this is from my vision. Okay, this is what I think, that we're going to see the gold at 7,500. This is the lowest price. The highest price that we're going to see in the far future is around $12,000 per ounce.
Are you saying that in a scenario of an invasion, or not necessarily?
The invasion and what is going to happen after, okay? The after effect.
Yeah.
Because the invasion is going to be the effect, the after effect. Let's speak a little bit about the after effect, because I think that we didn't mention it before.
The consequence.
Yes. This is what is going to happen. Once China is going to invade Taiwan and the TSMC factories is going to fall down, it means it's going to fall down, or the Chinese is going to take over. Okay, so two scenarios is going to happen. Or the Americans is going to send some Marines to bomb the facilities, so the Chinese will not receive the blueprints of the Western technology. Okay, this is one scenario. The second scenario can happen is that TSMC, the Taiwanese, they going to bomb everything and destroy everything by themselves. This is the second. Now, let's talk about what is going to happen. TSMC is going to fall down. All the technology companies is going to receive like a shock, a huge shock wave, because think of this, if you're going to take NVIDIA or AMD or Apple, what they have right now in their inventories, this is what they have. It means that they don't have the ability to create new things, to manufacture them, because TSMC is down. You have a huge embargo on China. Nobody can do business with China. We already spoke about this. So it means that you have the fixed amount of things in your inventories, and that's it.
Yeah. So that's why Intel is switching to manufacturing in the US.
Regarding this, just a second, I just wanted to finish what is going to happen in the macro economy, and then we're going to speak about Intel, because this is very interesting. Okay, we're going to enter an era of high inflation. Okay, because think of this. This is the supply and the demand, the world. So that you have the demand is going to be the same demand because people want to buy things. Okay, not just technology. Even, for example, take this lamp or take this chair or a new shirt, whatever. Okay, everything is coming from China. Now you cannot do business in China anymore. So which means the supply is going to fall down. The demand is going to be on the same level. So it means that the prices are going to rise up, and we're going to see hyperinflation. On the same time, because all the technology companies and all the companies around the world is going to suffer, because think of this, the factory that is generating everything for them is not working anymore, and you cannot make business with them. So the majority of the companies is going to say, okay, I cannot hold all the employees because I don't have the same income anymore. And if we go to look on the listed companies, okay, and all the exchanges around the world, they don't like to lose the investors. So they're going to show them we are under control. We're going to cut a lot of the expenses. So the first thing that is going to do, they're going to lay off a lot of employees. They're going to fire them. So you're going to see a deep depression. Now, if you're going to take deep depression plus high inflation, we call it stagflation. This is the name. So think of this, that you want to buy something, you're going to the store, great. For example, you need a table, okay? You're going to the store, the owner, he want to sell you, the problem, he don't have table because he cannot buy from China or let's say from the factory, everything is closed. So this is the majority, this is one of the biggest problems that we're going to see in the financial markets. Now, this problem is going to send us also, if we're going to look on the mortgage that people have, because today, if we're going to look about the situation through the eyes of the economist, the only tool that we have today to fight inflation is by rising up the interest rate. So it's means that if I took a mortgage and I know that I need to pay on a monthly basis, let's say $3,000, once they're going to rise up several times, it means I'm not going to pay back 3,000, I'm going to pay back 5,000, 6,000 and more. On top of it, I'm not working. Yeah. Think what is going to happen. This is the mother of all bubbles that we're going to enter.
Yeah, the housing crisis on steroids.
And this is just one of them because we're going to see several bubbles that is going to explode simultaneously together just because of this invasion. So this is one thing. Now the majority of the people, if they want, the traders want to protect themselves, protect the portfolio. They need to understand that the gold, because again, supply and demand, whereas a fixed supply, the demand is just going to rise up. So the prices will rise up. Okay? This is why today I'm holding gold in my portfolio. The goal of the holding the gold is not to generate profits. Is to hedge.
Yeah.
Because I know, and this is right now we're going to your next thing that you ask about Intel, because I know that the collapse will start, the gold will rise up, and then it's going to protect. So think of this, okay? My portfolio is going to fall down because the invasion.
Sure.
The gold is going to rise up, so it means the delta of the profits that I will have on the gold, I'm going to sell the gold, take the profits, and start buying all the shares that I believe in them.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, Intel. The majority of the people around the world, unfortunately, don't understand what is Intel and what they are doing. Because I spoke with a lot of people about Intel, and this is what they told me, okay? Look at let's open the books and let's see the income, okay? All the fundamentals, let's check it, and they're telling me, no, this company, sorry for my language, it's a shitty company. But I told them something else, okay? You think this is a shitty, I think this is a gold mine.
Exactly. Sorry for interrupting. I just, on my personal thesis, when I analyzed Intel from the value investing standpoint, the results are pretty impressive for a long time holding.
Yes, and this is something that is very important. I want people to open their eyes and open their minds. Think of this, okay? Intel, if you're going to take Intel, okay, take the market capitalization of Intel, but you're going to open, okay, and to check all the assets that they have, if it's factories around the world, if it's patents that they hold, and you're going to check it, it's the value, it's something around it's something like here, but the value of the assets, it's, let's say, 80 times more. The value.
The other companies they acquired and invested in.
Of course. Now, another thing that unfortunately the majority of the people don't understand, that Intel see the big picture. They already saw it on 2020, and this is why they invested in Nevada more than $20 billion to build the biggest factories in the United States so they can generate chips for the other companies.
Exactly. And luckily for them, the federal government also understands the value of this and backs them up.
Exactly. They bought a few months ago, they bought 10% ownership in Intel because they understood what is going to happen. And let me show you another thing. And it was May 2025. Donald Trump came to the Middle East to meet Saudi Arabia. When he came to the Middle East, he brought with him all the CEOs of all the companies. If it's the technology companies, the finance companies, the weapon companies, but only one company didn't go to the Middle East. Just one. Intel. The question is why? Because the United States started to understand Intel is the national security of the United States. On top of it, the majority of the people don't understand that Intel is a weapon company. It's not just a chip company. They have a lot of partnerships, for example, with Lockheed Martin, that I believe that we're going to share with the people, or the Black Hawk Down that you can see, that the film on YouTube that is starting, it's just taking people from point A to point B, not people, the soldiers taking equipment, but once they're going to zoom in to the cockpit, nobody is over there.
Yeah.
Because this is the AI revolution. And they are the first one that built the neurophones chips. This is something small, like it's less than quarter of my finger. And it's going to give you 12 qubits and you can connect them. So if we're going to speak a little bit on the quantum computers, I believe that the next company that is going to achieve the quantum supremacy is going to be Intel.
Interesting.
Just because of this. So Intel, in my opinion, Intel is going to replace TSMC. Trump knows this is what is going to happen, and this is why he's pushing the Chinese to invade Taiwan, because he wants TSMC to fall down, and he wants that all the companies around the world is going to work with Intel.
how far do you think by percentage of scale, like Intel has to invest or build those giant mega factories to keep up with the capacity of manufacturing, to keep up with TSMC?
Okay, right now they already started. They invested the $20,000 billion. Okay, since 2020. Also, Trump convinced in his own way TSMC to open factories in the United States. Now, you need to understand, once China is going to invade TSMC, and there is no Taiwan, there is no TSMC, so all the facilities of TSMC in the United States is going to move to Intel.
Mm-hmm.
So Intel is going to receive, because Donald Trump knows what he's doing. You need to remember, okay? And I hope all the audience will understand. Donald Trump is a businessman. He's not a politician, okay? He thinks as a businessman, I'm going to give you something, you're going to give me something back. If what you're going to give me back have more value in my eyes, we have a deal.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about everything before he's going to do any move. And he understands that this is what is going to happen.
Another thing that I couldn't help to think about when you mentioned gold as a hedging strategy for a scenario of invasion to Taiwan, for me as a trader, the first thing pops into my head is buying a backdated, out of the money put option on TSMC, like for 2 or 3 years ahead, and just as a hedging strategy in case of invasion.
Okay, look, usually I will go with your strategy. The problem is that once China will come to invade, the Americans is going to boycott China, and they're going to unplug China from the SWIFT. So it means that all the positions that you have also going to be unplugged.
Yeah. Also, what I like more about the idea of using gold as a hedging is less specific for this scenario. It could go up for many other reasons as well, not just because of the invasion.
So
in my strategy, it's very specific for TSMC. So if I get this wrong, I just lost the premium on the option. But if you get this wrong, you still might be right, just because of other reasons.
Okay, let me tell you some of this. Okay, regarding to the gold will rise up because of the tensions that we have right now around the world. The invasion is going to be the catalyst that is going to give the boost to the gold. But the gold right now has one direction. Because I believe that you're understanding what is happening right now all around the world, between Russia and Ukraine, in the Middle East, with Iran, Israel, and all the facilities, what United States did with Venezuela, the invasion. So I believe that the next country we're going to see with Cuba and also with Canada. Because United States understand one thing. The world is going to be divided into two blocks. You will have the Western bloc and the Eastern bloc. This is what is going to happen. And the United States, starting from right now, they starting to build all the structures and everything that they need to continue to work as an independent bloc without the Chinese.
Yeah. So basically, they're preparing for a closed market.
Yes.
Eastern market.
So closed market, it means that it's not just the United States.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of other countries that is going to be with United States, with China is going to be all the BRICS companies, and maybe others that is going to join, but the world is going to be divided into two blocks. And the United States want to be independent, so they need to have the ability to control the gold, control the energy, because with the energy, you're going to use the AI. And AI need the ability to cool itself and also to make all the calculations. So you need a lot of energy in the beginning. But for the future, this is why Elon Musk joined Donald Trump, because both of them have the same vision.
Yes.
To go to the moon and from there to Mars. So the next thing that we're going to see is the starships of Elon Musk of SpaceX is going to move to the moon. Over there, they're going to build the first base of the army on the moon. And this is going to be the first stop between Earth and Mars.
Yeah, interesting. So, just to summarize it up for the viewers and listeners, so you believe that the invasion is definitely going to happen. China is going to attack Taiwan. The main focus is going to be on TSMC, which is set to collapse in every scenario.
Yes.
The main beneficiary from that is probably said to be Intel,
Yes.
the United States. Gold could be an efficient tool for hedging if you are
Exactly.
worried about this, or just believe it still has momentum to keep going up. Anything else you think traders should know to be prepared for the next global event?
But yes, you should open your eyes and to understand that everything that you're going to read or to see in the news, this is opinion of someone. Okay? Remember that this is only his opinion. It's not mean that he is the supreme judge that you need to listen to him. You need to think by yourself. You need to ask the question by yourself.
Yeah.
Remember, nobody knows better than you. What you know, they know the same. But someone paying them a salary to to say their opinion. This is what I can say. Think about yourself and ask the questions.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Udi. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's really nice having you here. Thank you very much.